Good morning, Francie. Reichart here. Good morning, Reichart. You were an hour and a half early about asking about when the stream, why I'm not doing the stream. I'll answer that in more detail here in just a little bit. Wait for some more people to get here. But I hope you are both having a wonderful Saturday so far. It's been hot, and right now I've only had the AC on in here for uh, about an hour and 40 minutes. When I don't use the studio for days on end, I'm kind of frugal in that aspect. I turn everything off. I to the main breaker, I kill everything. So there's no power to the studio. There's no lights, no AC, no heat, nothing going in here. So I probably shouldn't do that, but I don't have any VCRs to have to reset the clocks on. Karen, good morning. Sorry, I'm in Central Time today in Milton, Florida, next to Alabama. Ooh, I bet it's hot there. Probably hot and humid. But I turned the AC back on, and I got my little fan over here, kind of rotating, it's circulating the cool air in here because it's directly below the inlet for the studio for the AC. Cool it off in here, and I'll leave it on because I'm gonna be in the studio most of today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, my son turns 6 years old. Six, the big six. Time goes by like that. Anybody out there who has children would, can definitely tell you. Well, you blink 1 minute, they're just learning how to walk, and the next minute, pew, they're gone. Tammy, good morning. Hello, guys and dolls. Okie dokie, are you here? I haven't seen Okie dokie yet. Maybe the chat's on delay. I have it on all chat, so not top chat, all chat. So it's supposed to be showing it as it comes in. Gene, good morning. Good morning, friends. How are you and the grandkids? The Okie dokie. I hope Okie dokie is doing well. Even though it's hot, can't go anything better than a nice piping hot cup of coffee. Okay, so to give you more of a background, Reichart, to your question about why I haven't been doing the Saturday morning streams and I haven't done the trivia night on Sundays. Well, it comes down to viewership. Plain and simple. We were going through the analytics for the channel for everything that I do. The breaking stories, the series on Josh Duggar and different people, Lori Vallow, and Chad Daybell, that series, Christopher Watts. We went through it all the analytics, and we were looking at the actual how many people are actually watching this versus nothing at all. How many people are actually subscribers, viewers, supporters of the channel who are actually continuing to watch. And actual subscribers and viewership was falling for the Saturday morning, this, and for the actual trivia night was abysmal. We could never get anybody to actually. We got some, and I really do appreciate. Don't get me wrong. We got some people to tune in to watch it and take part, but a lot of people just weren't into it. They didn't like it. So these things have to go away. I can't keep on making content that no one is going to watch or enjoy. So now, when it comes to the Saturday morning stream, I did over 340 Saturday morning streams, this thing, news and chat, and it just kept on sliding over time. And there are seasonal ups and downs, in everything, just like any business. And this is a business. But even though the ups and downs, when it should have been up, it was just flat or declining, for viewership and those who gave it a thumbs up, the new subscribers, new people who tuned in to watch it. So we went through and we looked at the search SEO, the search engine optimization. Are we failing there? Are we not reaching new audiences? We are reaching new audiences with new people, new eyes, if you will. But even then, I mean, it's really hard to put so much work and effort into doing these, only to see everything just continue to slide. So we have to make the call. What do we do? Do we continue to keep on making it, and to the point where only 5 or 10 people tune in? I mean, I'm really appreciative of the fact that 5 or 10 people might tune in, but when you have 30,000 subscribers and you're getting less than 1% to tune into these streams on the weekends, I don't know. You have to figure out and find a way to tweak it to make it work. So that's the long version of why the Saturday morning streams went away. The trivia night will not be coming back on this channel, and that, unfortunately, I know some people really enjoyed it, but it can't continue to happen. Even though I was giving away my own money left and right to people, it doesn't work. What, do you ever drink iced coffee? It's delish. Francie, not really. I'm not really an iced coffee drinker. Now I do buy the chilled Starbucks, like it's not a 2 liter, it's a little bit smaller than a liter, maybe it's like 1.5 liters, chilled coffee. But I just take that and I just stick it in my car or my truck, and it's just something that I drink while I'm on the road. Then I pour that into another cup. No ice involved in it at all. I just like it at room temperature. So, but not iced. A lot of those iced coffees, though, there's a lot too much sugar in it. And I'm not much of a fan of sweets, sugars. I don't like desserts or cookies or anything really that way. Don't know why. I mean, there are some things that I really do like. I mean, like pecan pie, a real pecan pie, not like this Americanized bastard thing that they call pecan pie. With pecans that float on the top and that gelatinous, goo and underneath it. But don't like too many sweets. Love your content, Margaret McDonald Lawson. Good morning and welcome. But I do understand sometimes hard decisions need to be made. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let me adjust my chair here. I posed a question on social media, and I said, ask me anything. What is one question you've always wanted to ask me? It can be personal, business, whatever. The only 2 things I said don't ask me about is, don't ask me about the planetary system. Is Mars really a planet? Is Pluto a planet? Or anything about the planetary system, and don't ask me about the meaning of life. So we're going to go through 15 questions, and I'm going to give a shout out to each and every person who asked it. Now, keep in mind, a lot of questions I got hundreds of questions, but a lot of questions were pretty much on the same basis. So some questions have one person, that I'm going to give credit to because they're the first person to ask it. And then other ones, there's like 60, 70 people who asked basically the same question. So this is 15 questions, Q&A about me. Now, these were, again, by Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Those are the main platforms where I posed a question. Ask me anything. So the first question was asked by Left-Handed RN. She asks, and where did you go to school? I don't know if she means all school, like, elementary, middle school, high school, college. So I'll give you kind of like a brief, answer to that left-handed RN. I went to school in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Washington State, and all three of those states basically the same answer when it comes to college, except for I did take some classes that were online that were through at another university in Idaho, but those is where I went to school. All right, question number 2 was asked by Okie Dokie. Hey there, Will. I'm sorry if I've missed it, but have you written a book or considered writing a book? Doing so, I think it would be great. Asked by Okie Dokie, and then there's 43 other people who asked along the same line, but Okie Dokie was the first one to ask it. Have I ever written a book? No. No, I've never written a book. Have I ever considered it? Not really. Not in. I think if I ever was to write a book, I'd probably write a cookbook. I know I've had an interesting life. I have a lot. My closest friends always say that I've lived the life of 1,000 men in the short time that I've been here. I've done more in this lifetime than a lot of people will ever dream of doing. But I've not really ever considered doing, writing a book or have I written a book. But thank you for the question. All right, question number 3. What is the meaning behind the tattoos on your arms? This was asked originally first by Carol Minter and Easton. They both basically asked the question at about the same time. Some of them have an actual meaning. The question mark is a memorial to a man that I knew. Some people may remember him from television, but if that's a memorial, on my left shoulder is another memorial. It's like the head of Satan, but each direction is Satan and it's God, but morphed into one. So if you look at it, straight on, it's Satan. But if you look at the other direction, it's actually God. The rest of it is the United States Marine Corps, and then the flames from that is becomes of me. That was basically me. Now, I did all of these tattoos myself in the living room and kitchen of my home. No, these are not shitty jailhouse tattoos. How did and why did I do it? I have no freaking clue why I did it. That's the honest answer. Now, December 12th, 2002. So this probably had all these tattoos probably happened, I would say the 14th, December 14th of 2002. How do I know exactly when I did it all? Because my wife came home and found me unconscious in the kitchen on the linoleum floor and thought that I had slit my wrist or something because there was red ink all over the floor. Now, these tattoos, they may look on camera as all being black, but it's actually black, yellow, and red ink. A lot of it's faded over the time, but if you look at it up close, you can still see a lot of the red and the yellow in it. December 12th, 2002, I went to a company Christmas party, and a gentleman who actually worked with the company, who'd only been with the company for a short amount of time, was really upset that he didn't get to partake in profit sharing with the company. Now, my buddy actually owned the company. I was the manager, shift supervisor, if you will. But he took it directly at me and said, he thought it was my fault that he didn't get to partake in profit sharing. Now, he'd only been with the company for a short period of time at that junction, but we knew this going in. He was the only one that wasn't going to get profit sharing. So we all got together and we said, well, I'll give so much of my profit sharing to him, and we put together a pretty sizable pot of money and gift cards and stuff like that. So we gave him about, I think it was about somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500 in cash. We gave him a gift card to an Albertsons grocery store because it's before the holidays, Christmas. Make sure the kid can eat. We gave him like a $500 gift card. We gave him another gift card to a store that's kind of like a ranch, a supply store, but they also sell boots and work gear that he could use. So we took very good care of him, and as a gift, we're like, we know you can't, enjoy the profit sharing and partake in that, but we're going to give this to you. Make this story a lot shorter. Um, I'm in the parking lot, and I'm waiting to get into my buddy's truck, and he came up behind me and hit me with from the video, because unfortunately I've seen the video and I testified against him, and I also gave a victim's impact statement on the case. But it looks like a piece of rebar. He hit me in the back of the head, knocked me to the ground, then grabbed the bed of my buddy's truck and jumped up and down on my head, trying to kill me. Fast forward, my buddy comes out, finds me laying in the parking lot, thinks, oh, he's passed out in the parking lot. I better get his ass home before he gets in trouble for being drunk in a parking lot and passed out. Loads me into the truck, takes me home, drops me off there. Never even thought about going to the hospital. He didn't think there was anything wrong with me except for that I was drunk. Because, this is a company Christmas party. It was actually held in a casino bar area. So he takes me home. And we found out later on, after my wife took me to the hospital, they did x-rays and everything else. I had a subdermal hematoma. I was bleeding in my brain. I had a fractured orbital socket. I had a vertebrae that was cracked, upper vertebrae that was pinching and actually pushing the nerve column. I mean, if I would have lived, I probably would have been paralyzed, and it came that close to death. And the very next day, the 13th, is when we went to my daughter's Christmas recital at her daycare at the Montessori school. So I don't know, sure what you would actually call it, but it's kind of like daycare. But we went to it, and they were frantically trying to call me after they got the results of the x-rays back, and they're like, hey, you need to get your ass back to the hospital. But I didn't get that call until the next day, because I didn't answer the phone. My wife was gone. She had to go to work. So I was at home, and I did all these myself. I know that's an awfully long answer, but that's how I got them. I don't know why I did it. The only tattoo I had before then was in the web of my hand. I have a peace sign. And that was one of those drunken, stupid decisions that me and my buddy made before we went into the Marine Corps. They wouldn't give us tattoos on our hands or on your face anywhere. So state law said they could only cover up birthmarks or scars. So we burned ourselves with a cigarette. He was supposed to hit himself right here too, but that asshole hit himself right on top of the knuckle. So he's got a peace sign on the top of his knuckle, and I've got mine here. Yeah. Dumb decisions. But that was the only tattoo I had before then. Okay. Next question. Moving on. Why don't you work for mainstream media? This was asked by Michelle and Spiderweb. They both asked multiple questions, but they were pretty much getting at the same question. Why don't I work for mainstream media? I don't trust a lot of mainstream media, even though I have a lot of friends who work in mainstream media, reporters, beat reporters, or they specialize in crime or making things right. They do behind the scenes, investigation journalism. I wouldn't call it really investigative journalism, but that's what they tell you on television or in the newspaper. But I don't necessarily trust it. A lot of mainstream media is slanted to support one political ideology over another. And that's the absolute truth. You may not like it. You may not even see it. But when you turn on your evening news, that broadcaster, the news that you're seeing, ask yourself, why are they only covering these stories when there was a shooting next door by somebody? Why don't they cover that story? Or the missing kid, who's African American, from inside the city. Why aren't they not covering that story? But they're covering the story about, the city, council or the school board in the suburb. Well, who gives a shit about the school board? What about the kid that's missing? but they don't. They don't. Everything's slanted in one direction or the other, and unfortunately, that's the truth, and therefore, reason why I don't work in mainstream media. Okay, question 5. Someone told me recently that you live in Wisconsin. Is this still true? This was asked by James Baker III. All one word. Actually, it's actually I, but it prints it out as the third. So why do I still live in Wisconsin? I have a family farm that I'm part owner of still there. Um, do I live there? No. I live in Washington State now. I never really intended to be here. I and I give you the short version of it is I fell in love, and that's why I'm here. I came home after I got out of the service, and I was home to take care of my mother for a couple of weeks, and I was planning on leaving. I had every intention. All my stuff was still packed up, and I was getting ready to go back to Wisconsin. And I was here, and while I was here, one day a friend of mine called me up and said, "Would you like to go out, for drinks tonight? We're going to, this place, And I said, "Sure, pick me up." I mean, I can't take my car because it was packed full of all my belongings with a trailer attached to it. So they came and picked me up, and I found the love of my life, and she's currently inside the house right now with our son. All right, next question. Let's see. And number 6, who is the most famous person you know or have met? This was asked by Scott and Kay and Sammy. All three of them pretty much asked the same question, so I'm giving credit to all three of them. Who's the most famous person that I've ever met? I think John Elway, the former quarterback, CFO, CEO, or whatever of the Denver Broncos. He's still working for the Denver Broncos in the front office, but he was a quarterback at the time, and I had no idea who he was. We were both, in a hurry, and we both were catching an Amtrak train because the airport there in Denver was closed because of icing. And so the Amtrak was the only way to get from point A to point B, where we could then get onto another plane, but we were both in a hurry to get the hell out of town. And so Amtrak was the only thing. And I had no idea who he was. I just sat in the diner car and was having, a couple of beers with my friend. And this guy was sitting there, and we walked over and sat down in his booth and started talking to him. My friend knew who he was. Of course, the idiot didn't tell me, who he was. And we just had a conversation. He was like super appreciative of the fact that I didn't make a big deal about who he was. Yeah, little did he know, I had no idea who he was. I mean, my friend told me after he walked away, and, we're like, oh my gosh, that was him. Huh. You just look like an average guy wearing blue jeans, denim jacket, and a t-shirt. He didn't scream, I'm a millionaire. He looked like just another person on an Amtrak train to me. But I think that was probably the most famous person I've ever met. I know some other people. I've met other people like Kevin Federline, Britney Spears' ex and singer rapper. I've met him, talked to him, hung out with him a couple of times. He has his second wife is from the area where I live now, and he hangs out at a place that my friends all like to go to, which bores the living snot out of me. But he's pretty cool, down to earth. He's not anything like you would think. But I hope that answers your question. Okay, next question. Any more documentaries you'll be working on in the near future? This one was asked by Karen with a K, because there's a Karen with a C as well in here. No, I don't have anything in the works. I've been approached and asked if I would take part in another documentary with Vice TV, but right now it's just been emails back and forth. But nothing is in the definite work. But thank you for asking. This one, next one was asked by Ellie's mom. Are you a Democrat or a Republican? I'm neither. I'll tell you my quick and easy answer when it comes to politics. I don't give a rat's butt about if you're a Republican, a Democrat. I care about what you can do and can you do the job the best. I think voting down political party lines is probably the most destructive thing you can ever do. And I get it. Certain states make you register as either Republican or Democrat, and you can only vote down those lines. In that situation, I would only go through and vote for who I think can actually do the best job and skip the other people. If I could only vote, on one way or another, I would vote. Okay, who is the person that I think can do the best job? I think this person for a school board can do the best job. If I have to vote down the party line, I vote for that person only, and then turn in, only one person on the whole ballot, is voted for. But I'm neither. I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I vote for the person who I think can do the best job, because what the whole thing was meant for, wasn't it? You're not voting for someone just because they're Republican or Democrat because you want this party to win or this party to win. How about we vote for the person who's actually going to help us? So, hope that answers your question, Ellie's mom. Question 9: will music trivia ever be coming back, or the morning stream? Well, we're doing the morning stream, and I'm answering these questions right now. This question was asked by Jim, Tammy, Easton, Carol with a C, Eleanor, Michael, Michelle, Elizabeth, Jenny, Jerry with an I, Jerry with a Y, Aaron, Mason, Miss Little, John, Meow, Hazel, Robert, A2 Neat, Color, Wild, Renee, Martin, and Ebon. All asked the same question, basically. So shout out to each and every one of you. Saturday morning streams, yes, are definitely coming back, and ta-da, we're here doing this now. But the trivia night, unfortunately, are not coming back. I might think of something else to do on Sundays, but I'm not going to be doing the trivia. So that's the answer to your question. Thank you very much for the question. Question number 10. I get you don't wish to post links for financial support to your channel. Would it really hurt if you just put them at the end of a video? This was asked by Miss Little. Would it hurt? No. And if you go back and watch any of my older videos, I used to not only put the links at the end of the video, I did it, and it never actually amounted to even $1. As soon as the video is over with, people are clicking off immediately. They're not going to watch the ending credits. You don't go to the movie theater necessarily and sit there and watch the ending credits. I know by saying that. I'm going to see it in the comment section. Well, I watched the credits at the end of the movie, because they put that little trailer, or bloopers at the end of a movie. Sure, maybe then you watch the credits, but you don't necessarily stick around to watch the credits. And when it comes to YouTube, people they're tuned off as soon as the video's over with. But would it hurt? No. They're in the description of every video that I've ever done, every live stream. But I don't see that it hurt, and I don't see that it helps. But I hope that answers your actual question. All right, question 12. How long have you and Crystal been married? Asked by Miss Minor 1. How long have we been married? 25 years. Almost 26. Question number 13. Thank you, Miss Minor 1, for the question. Let's see here. And I don't know if I read the who asked question 11. That was asked by Melissa A2 Neat in Martin. Question 13. Longtime subscriber, love your content. My question is personal. Hope you answer it. What is your take on true crime community as a whole right now on YouTube and other social media? Do you think it's getting better, or do you think it's getting worse? This was asked by Mr. Newhart. What do I think about the status of the true crime genre on YouTube and social media? I think there is a plethora right now of absolute garbage that is being produced by a lot of channels. When it comes to true crime, I can separate the true crime community into 3 groups. One is those who really do investigative kind of journalism and brings you the actual facts and present everything in a way where they allow you to make your mind up on guilt, punishment, and whatever you need to get from that. That's one group. There's the second group that takes everything they can from another creator. So they'll steal 100% of the content. Excuse me. They'll print out an actual transcript of everything that another channel has said. Maybe they said it 2 years ago, 5 years ago on YouTube or another social media platform. They will take 100% of that and they will call it their own. And people get away with this every day. I have people who do this to me and to my content, and they will even record and copy the mistakes that I make because they don't care. They're only in it for the views and for the money and for the fame and the glory of it all. Yeah, right? I guess there's some fame in this, but and some money as well. But that's the second group. And then the third group, they just read whatever comes up on People Magazine or Radar online, and they spew it forth in such a way that is somewhat entertaining, but they add in a ton of gossip and drama to it because drama sells and so does gossip. It sells, it brings in the views, and those are the channels that are going to explode and take over. But to answer your question, what do I think about true crime on social media as a whole? I don't see it getting better. I see it going more towards number three, the third group, than I do of anything. And unfortunately, those who are in group number one and group number two are going to have to change to, slowly over time or, quickly over to number three, because it doesn't matter what you do. People will not appreciate what they don't see. So, and my point is, you can do all the investigative journalism and have all the degrees on your wall, and have a million different placards, that say that YouTube has patted you on the back, that you did a good job. But if no one has ever seen your content, it doesn't matter. You're going to go broke and you're going to fade out into the background because all these other channels are going to take over from you, and they're going to destroy you. And if they don't destroy you personally, they'll send their legions of minions after you. So I don't see it getting any better. That's the honest answer to the question. But thank you for asking it. Let's see here. Question number 14. Is the taco podcast ever coming back? Seen a lot of people leaving. This was asked by Beth. And Beth, you're absolutely right. There's about 78 people who've left that channel. In case you're not aware, one of the other channels that I make content on is called the Taco Podcast. That's here on YouTube. It's me and my wife, Crystal, just talking about our middle class existence and trying to make a go of it in this crazy world. But that is it coming back? Yeah. Oh yeah, I've already uploaded new content to it. I have a new video today. I have another podcast episode, that's already ready for next week. So we took off from March to now, to about a week ago, while we worked out the kinks in my wife's new schedule because she changed jobs, and these things take time. You can't I could do it all by myself, and I may do it all by myself and just have her on occasionally as a guest. We'll see. But it's definitely coming back. It ain't going anywhere. I work way too hard at that channel and content, and I really enjoy that because I get to be me, kind of like this. So, all right, question number, and that was asked by Beth. In case I missed it, I'm sorry, Beth. Question number 15. I may disagree with a lot of your content in the past, but you've always been factual. I have, however, always respected your work. I'll be damned if history has been on your side more than a lot of others. Have you had any experience with people who wish to harm you or discredit you in some form on social media? This question was asked by Lori M., Ashley, Dawn, Carol, Petra, Jim, Daniel, Margaret, and Alicia. And I hope I pronounced that right. I think it's pronounced Alicia. So, uh, have I seen? Oh yeah. I mean, I've been doxxed. I've been harassed. I mean, like a lot of things. The nasty part of being on social media and being on YouTube. People do these things because they want to destroy you. So that's 15 questions. I hope that and everybody enjoyed the 15 questions. I will do this again in the future if I get enough thumbs up. And now I'm going to destroy my lungs. Smoke them if you got them. And I'm sorry I haven't been able to read the comments while I've actually been doing this. I didn't see where we could ask you questions. If you go to the on YouTube, there's it's what's called a community tab. You just go bring up my channel, and there's videos and about me, and there's a community, and that's where I keep updates on, and I post updates on the channel when the question, if something comes up and there's going to be an issue with me not doing the streams, or programming wise, or a video that's coming up that I think is important that people watch. It's also where I give shout outs to other people who are just starting their channels as well. But the question was posed there. Paris Shade, good morning and welcome. Love the questions. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I hope now obviously this is not all the questions, but I tried to answer a little bit of everything from my life, personally, to questions about my business, and even picked a couple of non business personal questions. Politics, I hate politics, I really do, because remember, the longer they can keep us divided politically, the easier it is to divide us, and we don't see what there's really going on behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz, rest for you though. But that's what politics is all about. Mike Stevens, I have 3 questions about 3 different serial killers to ask you. All right, Mike, I'll try to answer them if you want to go ahead and post one or 2 or 3, whatever. How's my leg, Francie? Good, good. I'm done with physical therapy. It's actually my knee. I had ligaments replaced, but overall, I would say it's doing pretty good. I mean, obviously, I have arthritis, and I'm going to have arthritis the rest of my life, but there's not enough we can really do about that. I'm a Trump card, 100%. I don't know what a Trump card is. Are you making fun of Trump, or you're a trumpeter for Trump? I'm sorry, Mike, but it's okay. I don't care who you vote for. That's your business. Excuse me. I mean, I'm not a Biden fan. I'll tell you that right now. I didn't vote for that idiot. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for, but I certainly hell didn't vote for Biden. Oh, you are for Trump. I can't remember the last time there's been somebody, in the in charge, as president of the United States, that did anything to improve my life. And I really do honestly mean that. And it doesn't matter what political party they belong to. I can't think of the last time someone in the White House did something that improved my life. I didn't get any of the stimulus checks. I didn't get any of the benefits from that. So you can't say, well, what about that? Nope. Didn't get it. We didn't qualify for it. We made too much money. I didn't get it, I certainly didn't get any tax credits this year, that were new. Didn't get any last year that were new either. when it comes to people who actually affect my life, it's school boards, city councils, people who vote for, are in elected officials that are in my actual local area. They affect my life. And my school board is filled with a bunch of morons. And three of them, of the members of this, three of the six members that are on our school board are actually, they were being recalled, but now they stretched it out long enough so the recall stopped, and now we're voting for new school board members. They ain't winning right now. The early results are they're getting less than 5% of the return vote. And it's like 95% for the other person running against them because they barely kept their jobs without being recalled. Will, what will your little boy get for his birthday? I don't know, Francie. To answer your question, I think I've already bought him every Nerf gun. It looks like my living room looks like the Nerf gun store. I have bought just about everything that I could think of. I hate to say it, but Daddy might be a pushover for his little man. But I know me and my wife have bought clothes and some other things for him. We bought him a new Amazon Fire tablet for his birthday, but I don't know, to tell you the truth, what else will he'll get? I'm sure his grandmother and his grandpa, who's coming into town tomorrow for his birthday party, they're going to spoil him. I'm grateful I have a car to put expensive gas in. Yeah, gas here where I am, Mike, hit $6.80. That was the top the peak. It's now down to about 4.90, 4.95, right in there. So it's just under $5 a gallon now. Diesel prices are still through the effing roof, though. I feel sorry for and Rycar or anybody else who's got to rely upon diesel, for a living. Oh boy. Does he like Legos, Purple? He doesn't have the dexterity to play with like regular Legos. He has like dupli blocks and stuff like that he plays with sometimes. He likes to build towers and then crush them and knock them over. And I'll tell you something about my son. My son is in his spare time. For some reason, he decided that he wanted to start making videos and doing video editing. And just about every device that we own has got 2 or 3 different editing software programs on it. And he makes these 1 to 3 minute videos where what he's doing is he's watching a video. He will then figure out how to recreate that video. Like one video he watched was about a guy who fell down a flight of stairs. Now, this is how ingenious he is. This is a 5-year-old, mind here. Well, he didn't want to fall down a flight of stairs himself because that would definitely hurt. So what he did was he took an old cell phone that we gave him so that to play with, that he can shoot videos on and stuff. He took that cell phone and he put it in a plastic box and then put bubble wrap around it and then tumbled the phone down the stairs and then played it back and recorded it in halftime. So it's slow motion of the phone actually tumbling down the stairs. So it kind of looks like the perspective of the individual who's falling down the stairs. Ask him to explain how he came up with that. He can't do that. He's only got about 10 or 15 words that he says on a regular basis. But it blows me away. I sit behind him sometimes in the living room on the computer and I watch him editing and I'm with a notepad and I'm sitting there. Okay. I'm taking notes from my 5-year-old on how to do videos, and how to do these editings and cutaways and, and special effects. He's figured it out all on his own. Blows my mind. Will, I will. He can build towers and knock over them with the Nerf gun. Yes, Carol, he does that a lot. He builds and he sets up little targets in the living room on top of the entertainment center. There's nothing else on there he can knock over because the way our house is set up is there's a living room and then there's a dining room and then there's kind of like an eat-in kitchen. So it's all one giant like open space. So all the pictures and stuff like that are either on the wall or they're on the other side of the house. We've taken away all the things that he can break in that area. So it's basically Nerf gun safety wise. But he'll set up on the bureau or on the shelf. He'll set up little targets like action figures and stuff like that, and he shoots them with his Nerf guns. He enjoys that. Well, then I think it's great you're giving him a fancy new tablet for his birthday. Future filmmaker. And it seems to bring him enjoyment, but it's also a way for him to communicate because he doesn't have the ability to speak and express emotions himself. Because my son is autistic. He's on the spectrum, but with videos that he can make, he can express when he's happy, he's sad, when he needs something or wants something. He makes a video about it. They're only about a minute or 2 minutes long in length, but it's a way for him to communicate with the world around him where he doesn't have the ability right now yet to be able to do that. He's getting a lot better. And it's not that he doesn't understand. A lot of that's what I hate about the stupid school system here is they think that he doesn't understand. They think his comprehension is lacking. And I'm like, oh, you haven't spent enough time around my son to know he understands everything that's going on around him. He just cannot verbalize it, and communicate it in a way. In his handwriting, I mean, he's 5 years old, so it's some big letters, but he doesn't have and they don't teach cursive anymore. I didn't know that. They don't teach any cursive, but oh well, at least not here. They don't teach cursive anymore. But it's a way for him to communicate with the world around him. Every time I fill up my 18-wheeler semi tractor trailer, I spend $700 to $800. Holy Jesus Christ, right? That's expensive. That I have an uncle who he'll be here tomorrow. He works for Fresh Pack or something like that. He drives a reefer. What I guess that's the refrigerated unit. I guess maybe I'm wrong. I know it's a refrigerated unit, but I'm not sure if it's called a reefer. I'm not up on all the lingo of these different things. But he was telling me that he was in, I want to say, not Alabama, Arkansas, or someplace like that. And the station he pulled off into for the weigh station and everything else after picking up the load, they had no fuel. And he was stuck there for a day and a half with where the hell are you going to go? There was only like 2 places to fill up with gas and none of them had any diesel. But that's where he owns his truck, but he doesn't own the trailers. So I have a daughter, so I'm not used to rough and tumble stuff in the house. I don't know. My daughter was it's pretty much, when she was younger, she was pretty much rough and tumble. You didn't know what she was going to do yet next. No joke. So you know what those playground things, like the 2-story things that they have at playgrounds. My daughter, when she was 7, climbed up to the inside of it and then got up on the railing and jumped out of it and then landed flat on an actual picnic table next to it and split her mouth open, split her chin open, and she thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And then the adrenaline ran off, and she started crying. And then of course compact rush her to the hospital. I think she ended up getting like 9 stitches. She was like 7 years old. She was a little daredevil, but girls and boys do whatever they want. To each their own. Teach it to them. Well, you have got yourself a genius on your hands. I don't know if he's a genius, Purple. He's pretty damn smart in my book, but then again, I'm kind of, biased again, in this situation. I just know when it comes to the school system, I'm his biggest advocate for, education and getting the services that he needs. And I am a giant thorn in their asses, and they really do not appreciate hearing from me. And they're going to hear from me every single day for the rest of his life. And as long as he's in their system, their school system, their after school, or their one of their programs, they're going to hear from this dad. And this dad is going to make damn sure that they do exactly what they're supposed to do and what they're paid to do. I'm not sending my son to school, as to warehouse him someplace. He's there to get an education, and I'll be damned if they're going to treat him any differently because he has autism. This daddy is one main mother when it comes to making sure that his little man gets exactly what he's deserving of and what the school system is there for. I hate that. You have to remember, if you've got little ones, you're their advocate. You got to fight for what is right for them. And of course, that then reminds me of the song. You got to fight for your right to party, but you have to fight for your children too. He hauls reefers. It's what it's called. Okay, you haul a flatbed construction material, but I used to haul reefer 6 years ago. That's what I thought. I thought that's what it was called, the air conditioned system. I guess that thing runs constantly, no matter where he's at. He's got to have it running all the time. Because when he comes here, he'll be here tomorrow. He's coming from Medford to here, and the closest place to park his truck is either 3 miles that way in the middle of nowhere, where there used to be an office complex, but they bulldozed it, and so it's just a giant parking lot, blacktop parking lot in the middle of nowhere. He can either park it there, or he can park it all the way on the other end of town, next to a bunch of warehouses. He likes to park down there because there's a lot of it's not a truck stop, but there's a lot of truckers who are there waiting for their next load. So they're they're sleeping in their truck. So there's around, so the people around actually watch his truck. So he likes to park down on that end of town. It's kind of a pain in the ass, so getting around. But we'll go get him tomorrow. Did your son use a board that he could help him verbalize what he needs? Yes. Well, they have right. So they made him this one. Carol called the PEX program. So it started off as a 3-ring binder that's got pictures where he can put them together in a sentence. Banana, I need help, and then so I need help. So there's words and pictures, and he can put them together that way on in this thing. And they have Velcro that where you can take them off and put them on. And then that whole strip can come off, and he can say what he wants that way. But he doesn't like to use that as much, and they have it also on a tablet version where he just points and drags it into it through the on a tablet that way. But yes, he does have that. He uses it some, but he also has a program where he can touch the actual picture, and it's meant for him to repeat the word or the picture. So a picture of an apple, it'll, if you touch the apple on the screen, it'll say apple, and he's supposed to repeat it back. And there's like a timer, it's like 3, 2, 1, and he's supposed to repeat it. But he doesn't like to use that all the time. But he has headphones, and it's got a microphone and stuff that goes with it. It's all encompassing, attached to it. But he just he'll just unplug the headphones and then walk over and then go apple, banana, or whatever he wants. I want snack. Please help me. He'll just hit the words 1, 2, and 3, so it'll speak for him. But that's not really helping him in the aspect of him learning to communicate. He knows what he wants to say. He just doesn't have the ability to be able to say it right now. So he's getting better. And a lot of times he makes kind of like, he'll point at something like, this is a microphone. He knows this is a microphone. He doesn't know the word microphone. He'll point at it and go, ah, ah, and kind of like makes like a grunting noise, that this is what he wants to say, but he doesn't know how to actually say the word. But he's getting a lot better. So there's hope in that aspect. What's my favorite breakfast, Francie? Probably biscuits and gravy. I don't eat breakfast on an awful lot. Used to on the weekends. My sister and her family used to come over, but everybody's schedule has all changed. He's very much a genius. Will keep an eye on him all day, one day, and write down the things that he does that you have no clue how to figure it out. Figure it. Yeah. Well, we do. We have a weekly calendar on the refrigerator where we write down he's got goals that he has to meet each and every week, and he meets them. But as soon as he meets them, it's like you can't get him to do anything. He's 5, 6 years old tomorrow. Oh. Damn, it is 92 degrees here already, and it's not even 9 o'clock. 92 degrees and sunny. Love me some biscuits and gravy. I can't remember where I was. I want to say Spokane, Washington. I stopped in this little diner about a week ago, and they had I don't know if anybody knows what this is, chip beef, kind of like biscuits and gravy, but instead it's got thinly sliced like kind of like lunch meat in it instead of the sausage, but chip beef. I had that on biscuits. They're big, huge biscuits, so about that big around. There were 3 of them. So, in halves, there were 6 of them on a plate with this chip beef and gravy on it. Oh my gosh. It was way more than I could eat, but it was really good. Can't remember the name of the place though. It's like Mama's Kitchen or something like that. We have our smoker going now, smoking brisket and ribs for tonight. Ooh, that sounds good. I have a smoker. It's a Chef King. Hold on. It's sitting right outside my studio. 1 second. Big Chef by Chef King. I knew there was a king in there. Big Chief by Chef King. It's a smoker grill all in one. It takes kind of like a Traeger, where it takes the little pellets. I don't use a smoker all that much though. Use it more for the grill. I got it for I think Father's Day 5 years ago, 6 years ago, somewhere in there. My son was just a baby at the time. It works great though. We love to smoke meats. The last time I used it to smoke anything, I used it to smoke cheese. I made smoked cheddar and smoked Swiss. Low and slow, cold smoking. Well, we wish we had a Cracker Barrel around here. We don't have anything like that. We used to have Granny's Buffet and Country Kitchen, and we used to also have another one. It was like a family-owned chuck wagon, but they're all gone. Every one of them have closed and moved out. We don't have any Cracker Barrels. I guess we're getting a Popeyes, but not very many fast food chains around here. They're smaller, independent restaurants, but not too many like large corporate, buffets or things like that. There's a couple of Chinese places that do buffets, but mac and cheese, ooh. The only thing I don't like about the mom and pop restaurants around here is they don't exactly keep business hours that work with my schedule. I mean, there are some that do, but it's like, hey, we do breakfast until 11 a.m. I can't get there before noon. My son wakes up at 9. If I get out the door at 10, 30-minute drive, 10:30, 11 before I can get there. And I don't want to rush to try to get everybody into the car and out the door and there, in time. So the only people that have breakfast all day is McDonald's, and they're everywhere. They're kind of like the scourge of society, along with Starbucks. They're everywhere. But we actually have a place here where there's a Starbucks inside of the Target. In the parking lot, there's a Starbucks drive-through, and then on the other side of the plaza, there's another Starbucks, and then across the road, there's another Starbucks in the same building as Burger King, and that's all within 300 yards of each other, 400 yards. Like boom, 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 Starbucks. They're everywhere around here. In the last 3 years, ooh, sun-dried tomatoes. That'd be good. Sun-dried tomatoes and with a little bit of olive oil and some garlic, sautéed, in the olive oil, and then just drizzle it lightly over just a plain like an egg noodle. I could go for that. Where I live, Francie, we didn't see a lot of restaurants and businesses closed because of the COVID. Didn't see a lot of that here. Economically, this area is pretty well protected from what's happening outside in a large part of the United States. So when the economy is down, the economy here has been pretty much steady. You have to understand though, at the same time, a good 80% of the economy here where I live now is run by the federal government. They are by far the largest employer around. And during the COVID shutdowns and closures and stuff like that were going on, this area was very well protected because there wasn't a lot of losses of jobs, and a lot of the smaller mom and pop restaurants quickly shifted to takeout or curbside pickups. So They found a way to stay open. I mean, it was definitely hard. I'm sure that there have been some small casualties here and there, but we didn't see the massive amounts of loss and hit to the economy here. I don't like Starbucks. It's too expensive. Amy hates it. The wait staff. Freaking Uber here locally won't deliver anything unless you order $20. Yeah, and if you want anything from Uber or was it DoorDash? I think it's the other company that's here. There's like three, but the only ones that come to mind are Uber and DoorDash. But you can't get anything from these companies to deliver to your home unless you order $20 or more and you tip them. I don't see the. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Starbucks coffee, the actual coffee itself, and occasionally I'll pick up a Starbucks coffee here and there. I mean, they're everywhere. They're so damn convenient, and so many of the gas stations here. You go in, they don't even serve like the drip coffee anymore. Now they have baristas in the actual coffee shop. So there's somebody working the register. And there's a barista inside the coffee house itself. Another company that is taken over everywhere around here is called Barracuda Coffee Company, but they're everywhere as well. So if you can't find a Starbucks, you can find a Barracuda Coffee Company, store. Then I wouldn't say that it's expensive. It's a hell of a lot more expensive than a drip coffee. That's why I support Black Rifle Coffee Company, veteran owned and operated, and a large they do a lot of social outreach, and helping veterans and other people, within their communities. But I have a monthly subscription to Black Rifle where the coffee comes to me, and I just brew it myself. My mom made chip beef on toast. That sounds good. Oh my God, have grocery prices gone way up? That's astronomical. I mean, at least where I am, in man, a gallon of milk. Ay, Jesus. But you have your just everything's out of whack when a 12 pack of beer is cheaper than a gallon of gas. That everything's out of whack then. And that was very true here. It depends upon what kind of grade of gasoline you bought, or if it had ethanol in it, which I refuse to put in my cars or truck. But now you have your options when you go to the gas station here. You can get unleaded gasoline, or you can get unleaded gasoline with 25% ethanol in it. And the ethanol gasoline is about 25-30 cents cheaper per gallon. But not for me. I'm not running in anything that I own. Good morning, Patty. I'm doing great, Patty. I'm going to wrap this morning stream up here in a little bit. I hope you are having a wonderful day today, Patty, and I hope you have a great weekend as well. Stark bust. Yeah, but back to I was talking about the grocery prices. I feel bad for anybody who may be working a job at minimum wage, or just trying to survive. I really do, because the damn housing prices are through the freaking roof. The house that I'll tell you a quick little side story on that. The house that me and my wife owned before we bought this one. So we sold that house 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. And we moved in here. The guy who bought that uses it as a rental. It's part of his. Oops, kick the tripod there. The guy who has it, it's one of his. It's in his portfolio of rental properties, and he now rents that home for $1,955 a month. And I mean, I'm sure he's made that. He did a lot of work to the place after we sold it to him. Looks a lot better. I mean, he definitely painted the house and fixed a lot of the things that I didn't have time to fix. I didn't want to. And we outgrew the space, and that's why we bought this place. But that house, $1,955 a month. It's technically a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but it's actually got a bonus room. You know, you can call it a den, or a 3rd bedroom, but it doesn't have a closet, so it's not considered an actual closet in a bedroom. It's got windows. It's got everything else that makes it a bedroom. It's got a door. It just doesn't have a closet, so it's not considered a bedroom. So it's kind of like a 3-bedroom. But we used it, you know, as an office. But $1,955 a month. Me and my wife were actually sitting down. We were talking about this. We're like, God, we could have, if we still had that. I mean, we didn't have to sell it. We could have used it as a rental property. We actually considered it at one point. We tried to rent it. Guy never moved in. Gave us a check and then disappeared. Never moved in. So we ended up selling. So, but remember back to the first place we lived when we got together 25 years ago. You know, I think we were paying $600 a month for rent for in a duplex. It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, $600 a month. 25 years later, something that's half the size of that now going for almost $2,000 a month. How the hell do you even pay that? $1,955 a month. Is that what you pay, Francie? I can run ethanol in your Honda. You can put ethanol gasoline in, you know, in anything that uses unleaded gasoline. I don't like it because of what it does. You know, it gums up in the system. I'm sure you can flush it out, and you know, but in short term, you know, it's not going to harm your car. I won't put it in my lawnmower to mow my lawn. I will certainly the hell won't put it in my truck or my wife's car. So we have to actually, you know, strategically pick places that do not put ethanol in their gasoline. So that's just my own, you know, take on it. You know, you can do whatever you feel is right. And hell, if it's cheaper to buy, you know, ethanol gasoline, then go for it. Rather, I mean, if you're going to put something in your gas tank, hell, it's almost cheaper to put moonshine in there. Yeah, my dinky house in California now worth half $500,000. Crazy. That is crazy. I got a buddy who, you know, him and his wife were looking for a new home in the Sacramento area. They couldn't find anything for under $3 million. $3 million for, you know, something with a yard and a nice community and a good school district. They take a lot of that stuff into account. Crime rate, you know, how many are people in that area or on that block, or, you know, are homeowners versus renters. There's a lot of things that you have to think about when you're looking for a new home. Things that me and my wife, I can guarantee you, we never thought of ever when we bought some of the homes that we've lived in. Now, this is only our 4th home that we've ever lived in, but we never thought about, you know, the crime rate or the school system or anything, you know, never came into account. We had a daughter at the time we bought our first house, but now, you know, older, and you think about these things a lot more. You should have kept it and done that. Yeah. Yeah, well, hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? And I don't know if I'd want to be a landlord. my luck is I'd probably put somebody into it and then find out that they don't want to pay rent, and then you have to deal with squatters, or they destroy it and then you have to fix it. You have to be on call in case something breaks, like a plumbing or the electrical issue or whatever. There's some things I just don't know. I know a lot of things, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I'm definitely not a professional at any of it. Now, if you need somebody to find someone, hunting down, a killer, you call me for that. But you don't call me if you have a clogged toilet at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because if I can't pour, a bottle of Drano in there and it doesn't, fix it in 10 minutes, I'm the last person you should be calling. And that's the honest truth. I'm very handy, but I can't. There's some things that I know are out of my expertise or my knowledge base. So being a landlord wouldn't have been a great deal for me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you all have a wonderful day today, and stay safe out there. Reichart, you as well. Stay safe on the roads around America. Well, a lot of idiots out there. So everyone, again, have a safe and pleasant weekend. I will see you again shortly. And hopefully next Saturday, I will post in the community tab, in the community forum on my channel, like I do every time. If there's anything comes up where I won't be able to do a stream or a video or whatever, that's where I always post. So keep an eye on the community tab. And I know they don't push it a lot and which never makes sense to me. You're trying to build a community around your actual work. But if you're a new channel just starting off, you don't even get the community tab. How are you supposed to build a community and have a community of people who enjoy your content and inform people of what's going on if you don't get it when you start off? I don't know. But anyways, everyone have a great day today. And I will see you again soon. Bye.